everyone, and welcome back to the Joy-Filled Universe podcast. I am your host, Lisa Ryan, who is blissfully enjoying the fact that her voice is back. It's back this week, and I'm so grateful. So I'm excited to talk about today's episode, which in my opinion is a true game changer when it comes to living a most abundant life. And that is the magic of gratitude. Gratitude, it might sound very simple. It might even sound a little bit too simple, but it is one of the most powerful vibrational tools that we have. And I say this because gratitude isn't just saying thank you. It's truly a state of being, a frequency, a vibe, and a practice. Gratitude is the feeling that we get when we recognize that something is really good and meaningful and aligned. And what's really awesome is we don't have to wait for something amazing to happen in order to feel gratitude. In fact, the magic and the power is when we can cultivate and realize and practice it before anything shifts for us. It's the feeling of being happy in your now with what you have in your life. So for me, something I try to do at the beginning and end of every day is to list 3 things in my head or out loud or in my journal or whatever, in the shower, whatever it is, but 3 things that I'm thankful for. Just so simple, and it's very easy. It's a great habit to have because it takes less than 5 minutes every day, and it is a really positive impact, and it can really help you from both a physical and a mental perspective. And feeling genuinely thankful can activate the areas of the brain that are associated with the release of those incredible neurotransmitters known as dopamine and serotonin. And they play such a key role in boosting our mood, our motivation, and our energy. And on the flip side, guess what chemical level is much lower when you're practicing gratitude? Yeah, cortisol. And according to some studies, it's like 23% lower, which means less stress, better sleep, and just in general, an overall healthier lifestyle. So on top of all of us feeling super awesome, gratitude can also be a really incredible tool when it comes to human connection, just genuine human connection. And I say this because science and psychology both have yielded results, and I totally believe in this, that the most powerful human needs are those of us wanting to feel seen, heard, and valued. When people feel seen, it activates an area of the brain which is associated with pleasure and motivation. So think about that, the power that we all have to really make a difference in someone's life just by genuinely saying 2 words. Thank you. And I don't mean like that fast thank you when someone's like holding the door for you or, wishing you a good day. Have a good day. Thank you. Nothing like that. Which albeit I'm sure you genuinely mean it. I know I sometimes do too. However, I'm really talking about that true, heartfelt thank you that we express to someone when looking them in the eye and pausing for just a moment, because it's those words with that pause and that genuine eye contact where we're saying to someone, I see you, I appreciate you, what you did matters, and you made an impact, and all of that. People can feel that energy in just those 2 words when they're genuinely heartfelt. And that genuine message lands very differently. It lights up another person's brain. It creates emotional safety and trust and even a sense of identity, which is why, with this in mind, several studies have shown that in the workplace, employees who feel appreciated are more productive and loyal. And in a relationship, partners who regularly express honest gratitude report higher levels of intimacy and really long-term satisfaction. So gratitude is even bigger than just personal practice or good manners. It really is a relational superpower. So for the time that I was thinking about creating this pod, I decided to be very deliberate when expressing gratitude. So for a period of time, I was like, let me just be super hyper focused on being grateful. Not just grateful for all the things I have going on in my life, but grateful to people around me, grateful to the people I get to interact with on a routine basis. So, for example, in my condo building, right, there are these incredible cleaning people who must, I don't know, they got to get here so super early in the morning because when I'm leaving for work, and I leave fairly early, they're already like with their cleaning supplies, doing their thing, making the common areas look and smell great. So I decided to literally stop one day versus doing my normal like race for the elevator and trying not to spill my coffee and all that kind of stuff. I actually waited and I stopped and I looked at them and I said something like, thank you for your hard work. It is so lovely to always just have such a clean building that smells so good. You're awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for always doing such a terrific job. And I tried to make this a routine thing, regardless of who I saw while they were working in the building. It was like, hey, thanks. This looks great today. Thank you. Thank you for showing up today. I hope you have a great day. I really appreciate you. Those kinds of words were things that I made deliberate intent. I had definitely focused on finding these people and thanking them. Then as I'm like driving to work, it's rush hour, bumper to bumper traffic. Well, guess what? For every person that allowed me to like get into their lane, like allowed me in front of them, well, I was like waving in my rearview mirror. If it was a nice day, I had opened up my sunroof. I'm like waving out the sunroof. I'm like, thank you. And I usually just kept waving until I actually saw them wave back. And you want to know what? When they waved back, that made me feel good. So I was just like, this is definitely a two-way street here. And I'm pretty sure they probably thought I was a little bit crazy too. Oh my goodness. So then there is the times when I just arrive in my office, right? So there's these parking guards. They're not parking guards. They're actually just guards for the building. And so when I'm going into the parking garage, I always have to see them. They scan you in. And so they're always like super happy. It could be raining, it could be snowing, it could be whatever it is outside, windy. They're showing up and they're coming out there to check your passes. And you know what? They're always smiling and they're always kind and they're always wishing you a good day. So I decided to make sure that I was gushing right back on them. And I was like, hey, thanks for being so kind whenever I see you, especially in the morning like this. I hope you have a terrific day. And thanks for being you. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for keeping our building safe. And I just made sure that they not only heard my words as I'm like driving by. I stopped my car and I looked at them and I graciously thanked them so that they knew I saw them and I genuinely meant what I said because I'm stopping in my day. I'm taking a minute. I'm taking a beat just for them. And I would largely stay on this vibe all darn day long. When I would start it out on a good note, it kept going. And I would even just then start sending random texts to my friends. I would say things like, I'm so thankful for you. You make my life better. Or I would send a message to my boyfriend, Michael, and I'd be like, hey, thanks for that really sweet voice text. It made me feel so valuable. Thank you for sending that. And even my mom and dad, well, they get an audio message from me like every single morning. So I was like, hey, thanks for being my biggest cheerleaders. You guys are always supporting me and it makes me feel so good. Thank you. And I just thought to myself, wow, this is just so simple and it's so easy. And guess what? It doesn't cost a dime. It just takes some time out of your day, mere seconds, to express gratitude. And it just lights people up. Every person I addressed received my words with joy because they paused too. They were present to hear my words of gratitude. And just like love, it really connects us. It softens us. It invites appreciation that we both share for each other. So if you think about it, gratitude is love. It's just expressed in recognition. And this can really change people in an instant. You can turn someone's day right around. And that includes you. It can turn your day right around. It's such a great practice. So could you imagine if the whole wide world just did this very simple thing, even just one time every day, just one time? What an incredible vibe that would be. And so here's another thing to think about. The expression of gratitude, as I'm talking about all the things it does for folks externally and a little bit internally from our own like self-gratification perspective, it's also something that really helps us with our self-confidence, because when we are in gratitude, our mindset is often focused on our strengths, our wins, our growth, and we're saying things like, God, look how far I've come. I'm so proud of who I'm becoming. And this self-recognition, it actually, just like when you're embracing someone externally, it creates like a sense of safety. Well, when you're practicing self-gratitude, it builds internal safety, a sense that we've got our own back, that sense of safety that includes recognition and appreciation and self-love. That is the absolute foundation of confidence. So, with that in mind, taking time to thoughtfully thank yourself for who you were in order to become who you are now and also who you are evolving into, it is probably one of the most empowering feelings that I personally have experienced when it comes to self-worth. And quite frankly, up until probably, I'm going to say a couple of years ago, I never really took the time to look myself in the mirror and say, good on you, Lisa. Good job. Thank you for showing up the way you are. Thank you for being you. And so I also, though, have taken time to look back on my life, my whole life. And if you haven't taken the time to do this, it is really empowering. It is really a moment where you're like, wow, look how far I have come to allow me to be who I am today. So I'm speaking from experience here, because when I look back on my life, I certainly would not be who I am today without all of the past me's who existed and persevered. And I'm going to say that I absolutely do really like who I am today. I appreciate myself. And so to give you an example, when I was creating this pod, I took the time to reflect on the last decades of my life. And so when I looked back at the girl that I was in the first decade of my life into my early teens, I am so grateful for her resilience, because she had endured some really significant health challenges, and never once did she believe that she would not recover. And some of those challenges were really, really scary, like losing her eyesight as a very young teenage girl. And not only did she lose her eyesight for a period of time, but she also gained a significant amount of weight as well. And she was a very athletic kid. And all of a sudden, she just gained a ton of weight because of all the medication that she was on. And the kids at school can be pretty unkind. So they started to call her really awful names because she no longer looked like she used to. And she certainly looked different and acted different from everyone else. But through all of that, she was so strong. This girl, she didn't cry. She didn't feel defeated. She persevered and she was optimistic. And I am so, so grateful for her pure determination to get better. And she not only got better, but her eyesight came back, and she showed up as an even stronger individual who was so empathetic and compassionate to others. Her heart just expanded a million times bigger from that day forward. And then looking forward, I'm also thankful for the girl in her late teens and early 20s who pursued an undergraduate degree and subsequent profession in a very technical and male-driven field. And she worked so hard and sometimes against many, many odds to become hugely successful. And I'm so grateful for her drive and her work ethic and her desire to just keep learning while knowing that all of her hard work was always going to pay off for her. And I'm so proud of her because during this time too, she learned how to budget money, and she really appreciated the value of $1 and an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. And I also marvel and I'm deeply grateful for the young woman in her late 20s who survived an excruciating relationship that nearly destroyed her beautiful spirit and her entire life trajectory. She was such a strong woman who found courage to get out of a really toxic situation. She picked herself up at the age of 30 and moved to a different state without a penny in her pocket, a broken down car, and a little bird named Anthony to start her life all over again. Every day, this young woman woke up feeling fear throughout her body, but she didn't give up. She collected what little bits of pride she had left, and she kept going, knowing that things had to get better for her, and she knew in her heart that they would. And then the woman in her 30s, my goodness, this woman, she focused on rebuilding herself, forgiving herself, shedding shame and guilt, and searching for her purpose. I am so grateful for her because she didn't blame others. She didn't make her problems everyone else's. Rather, she dove deep into her self-development and awareness so that she could learn from her past experiences while recreating herself. She read books, she practiced wellness, she surrounded herself with new friends, she found herself into a profession that she really, really loved, and she bought her first new home, and she became a mommy to a beautiful fur baby named Abigail. And of course, her little bird Anthony, well, he was her ride or die, and he was still with her. And this perseverance and self-dedication and self-forgiveness and self-belief, that just reignited her light of self-worth in general. And she started to thrive. And once she rolled into her 40s, well, she was back. She was back. She was out running half marathons. She was going out and playing in golf tournaments. She had friends. She began dating again. She built a bigger home out in the suburbs while keeping her crash pad in the city. She was climbing the ladder of success at work and even became an executive. She literally fell back in love with life and herself, all while being so very grateful for all of the life lessons and the opportunities that she was able to experience that made her into an incredible human being with such a broad bandwidth of awareness and understanding for so many things and opportunities in life. And I'm just going to say, I'm so very grateful for all those stages of my life and how I lived within them, because I am so strong and even stronger than I ever thought I was. And without those experiences, I would never, ever be who I currently am today. And I am just so proud and so grateful how I show up and how I live my life. So I say all of this because I want you to hear that it's okay sometimes to reflect back on your journey. You don't have to be ashamed of it. Embrace your life. And if you've never, ever taken the time, or you haven't done so lately, to thank yourself, please do it. Celebrate your life, where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. Don't hide it. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't try to forget your past or dismiss it, because without it, you would not be your incredible self. The self-appreciation and gratitude, it is incredible. And guess what? You are incredible. So thank yourself today. Do me that favor and thank yourself today, because you know what? It will totally boost your self-esteem and will give you confidence to just keep going and keep growing. It redirects your attention from what is missing in your life to what you already possess. Rather than dwelling on unfulfilled desires, you celebrate your strengths and your progress, which fosters that optimism and satisfaction with life and feelings of fulfillment. You know, research suggests that self-gratitude can reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, right? Your depression from your past, anxiety from your future, because it takes you out of that survival mindset and it puts you into one of safety. So if we can make this a habit, we will totally counteract all that negative thought and we'll dismiss those thought patterns and rewire our brain to one of a positive mindset that is grateful for yourself. And practicing self-gratitude, it also helps with our resilience. It enhances it because when we endure setbacks, we can reflect on past successes and strengths, which reminds us of our ability to overcome challenges. And this just keeps us motivated with a really positive perspective. And I just want to say, expressing gratitude for our own personal achievements, well, it does not mean that we overlook our flaws. It means that we are aware of our capabilities, which inspires us to take on challenges, to continue growing and improving and developing into truly amazing humans in really awesome ways. Woo! So both gratitude for others and gratitude for yourself can be so incredible and empowering. I am clearly really energized by all of this chat. So, some super simple tools that we can all use when practicing gratitude are one of my favorites, a gratitude journal every day. Write down 3, 5, 10 things, whatever you want that you're grateful for. And if a daily effort feels too forced or just something that you're not interested in, then grab a journal and label it gratitude journal. And that is solely meant for all the gratitude. And every time that you feel inspired, write it down. Write down what's coming up for you, whatever it is. Write down what you're grateful for. And it doesn't have to be every day. It's for whenever you feel inspired to do so. So here's another one, because we just did a very recent episode on crystals. Find your favorite crystal. Maybe go get yourself some beautiful citrine, that sunshine stone. I love it. And hold it in your hands at night before going to bed. And think about the very best thing that happened for you that day. And allow yourself to feel with deep gratitude and joy for whatever is coming up for you. Whatever that memory of the day is, be thankful for that and let your gratitude just run straight through your body with joy. Another practice, standing in front of the mirror. Look into your eyes and list 3 things that you're grateful for about yourself. Give yourself some self-love. It certainly, as we just discussed, can really boost your confidence. And I love this one. Pick 3 people in your life who you're grateful for and send them a message and tell them why you're thankful for them in your world and how they have made your world better. This will strengthen the connection that you have together. And as we have learned, it is just a genuine expression of love. Oh, and I'm going to tell you, I do this as often as I possibly can, as often as I think about it. And even when my friends think I'm crazy, it's just something to do because you know what? Even if they are laughing at you and thinking that you're nuts out, rest assured, your words are penetrating and they're grateful for them. So it never falls flat. Trust me. A thank you, it never falls flat. Okay, gratitude jars. Okay, these are really, really fun. So similar to the journal, when you feel inspired, a gratitude jar is just, every now and again when you're in a certain moment or you're working with a certain person or it's an experience of life, whatever the small joy is that's bringing you happiness, whatever, write it down and put it in the jar. And over time, the jar will build up and then you have a tangible collection of positivity to revisit and boost your vibe whenever you're feeling low. So that's always a fun way. You're like, oh my God, yeah, I remember that. That made me feel so happy. So stuff like that, it can really remind you of all the good things that are going on in your life. Oh, and a really super fun one that I love is creating a gratitude playlist. Oh yeah, all kinds of songs that fold in gratitude. I love this. I have several gratitude songs on my phone. I'm going to just tell you that. And some of the songs that are on all of my playlists include Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves. There's a great song. It's called Thankful. It's by Beth Hart. Oh my God. I think she said thankful in that song like 1,000 times, but it's such a good song. I love it. And it can kind of make you tear up a little bit too. So, but they're happy tears. They're happy. Another Day in Paradise by Phil Collins, that just reminds you, God, how fortunate you are. And it's just another day in paradise. Sing it, Phil. Oh, I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas. Yes, I love that song. Three Little Birds, Bob Marley. Yes, sir. Three little birds beside my doorstep. I love that song. And one that I totally love is called Dance into the Light. If you don't know it, please grab it on your Spotify or pull it up on your iTunes, something, even just test it. I love that song. It always lifts me way up. Honestly, this song is one of my absolute go-tos whenever, and it's also by the incredible Phil Collins. So anyway, get out that playlist, fire it up, and let your frequency rise and hang on to your super fun high vibe ride, because it is going to be a joy. Okay, then here's another one. If you have accomplished some major milestones and goals in your life, or if you have overcome some incredible setbacks, then take time each day to reflect on that and say, thank you. Personally, I do that with my eyesight. Whenever I get to see something beautiful, from flowers to butterflies to my fur baby Lily Rose Sunshine, to my family, to my friends, my boyfriend, a sunrise, a sunset, a moonrise, even text in a book that I'm reading, everything I get to see with my beautiful bluish greenish eyes, everything that they can behold, I'm so grateful for, because the fact that my eyesight was restored to me so many years ago, it's a blessing, and not a single day goes by that I'm not grateful for seeing all the beauty that the world has to offer. And honestly, just taking time out of your every day to say, thank you, universe. Thank you so much. And really feel it. Say it to yourself, say it to others, say it to the universe. It is truly magic. So, as you can see, practicing gratitude is just so darn easy. And the vibe that we create really resonates so deeply, and the feelings that come from this really push out some massive energy into the universe, and the universe, it responds. So the more gratitude that we're putting out there, the more abundance shows up in our incredible worlds. So in short, gratitude, it can reduce stress and increase happiness because it takes us from surviving to safety. It can strengthen relationships and foster compassion. It can improve sleep and overall physical rest. It enhances resilience and boosts self-esteem, because we don't play the victim. No, we don't blame ourselves either. No, we take responsibility for our lives. And that is so empowering. So empowering. It increases motivation and enhances focus and just so much more. So whether it's personal connections, mental well-being, social connections, physical health, productivity, and personal growth, gratitude is the key ingredient for all of these areas. And it is so simple, like I've said before, and quite frankly, it's part of my everyday practice. I'm going to say it's changed my life. I'm also going to add something too here, because your girl loves manifesting, and gratitude is absolutely a key ingredient when it comes to manifesting. As a matter of fact, for every manifestation equation that I know of, gratitude is absolutely a factor. It is just this energetic match for abundance. So when you're grateful, you're telling the universe, I love where I am, I trust what's unfolding, and I'm ready for more. And the universe is like, you got it, because it's a vibrational match that accelerates manifestations, because you're not revisiting, you're not coming from a place of lack or fear or desperation. You're aligned to the energy that you want to attract. And law of attraction and law of resonance, well, the law of attraction says that you attract what you focus on. And the law of resonance, well, it takes it just a little bit further, and it underscores that like attracts like, right? Like energy attracts like energy. So our energy, whether it be our thoughts or emotions or actions, it aligns with certain frequencies, and we attract experiences, people, or circumstances that match that frequency. You literally become a magnet for more experiences that are matching your vibe. So with that in mind, if you want more money, if you want better health and wellness, if you want more friends in your life, if you want a better career, if you want a loving partner, if you want to travel to incredible places, if you want more peace, a better home, a nicer car, whatever it is, you have to first feel grateful for what you have and what is already yours, because once you genuinely feel into that, you are activating a quantum leap into manifesting your dreams. Gratitude is that emotion that fast tracks our desires into our reality. All right, my amazing friends, I am so grateful for all of you. Thank you for listening to this pod today. I hope that it was helpful as we highlight that gratitude is far more than just a mindset. It's a mood and self-confidence booster. It's a bridge to deeper human connection, and it rewires our brains, raises our vibe while reducing stress and turning us into a magnet for our dreams coming true. So when you hear me say thank you today, please know that what I'm saying is I appreciate you, because by tuning into this podcast, you are showing that you're focused on your own personal self-development. And you're also helping me out, because by listening to my pod, you're raising my ratings on podcast platforms. So I'm so thankful for that as well. And I also want you to know that I see you. Actually, literally, I do see you, because on this podcast platform, I get to see every city and country where listeners are downloading my podcast. And I totally love that feature. So I'm getting to see people all around the world. Well, not the people, but I get to see your cities all around the world. I see people in the United States of America, Canada, Puerto Rico, Netherlands, Mexico, Italy, Spain, Panama, France, and Portugal thus far. Oh my God, how incredible is that? So I see you, and I'm so grateful. You are really making an impact. And lastly, when I say thank you today, I want you to know that you are making an impact, because you are raising your own vibe, which means you're raising the vibe in your environment, and that expands into our shared planet. So if we are all doing this together from all around the globe, we are literally changing the world for the better. And that, most especially now in our world, that is so awesome. So let's keep doing it together. Gosh, and I love a good quote. I think you all know that by now. And the great philosopher Seneca, well, he has said that nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart, which means a person who truly practices gratitude is wise, noble, and deeply connected to true goodness and self. This world is just so full of ego right now, and some not so healthy competition too. So people like us who lead with gratitude, well, we're really rare. And I just want to say that we're also incredibly admirable indeed, because gratitude is such a terrific character trait to have. So I'm certainly grateful for all of you. Thank you. Thank you for being with me today. I hope that you found this pod to be helpful. And if you did, please rate, subscribe, review, share it with a friend. All of this just takes mere seconds, and it really helps me out. So thank you so much for your time and your support. And I am your extra grateful host, Lisa Ryan. This is the Joy-Filled Universe podcast, where we come together every week to explore all the tools and tricks that are going to make your universe even more joyful than it already is. I will see you next week. Bye.